Geelong. Great to have your company. Today, Rollo spends quite a bit of time looking at law in Geelong in particular, as it's the beginning of the law year. First up, he spoke with Anne Kotzel, who is the chaplain at the Geelong Law Courts.
Thank you to Megan, and welcome to Good Morning Geelong from Rollo, as we're down at the opening of the Geelong Law Year here at the old Geelong Courts, down on the corner of Little Mallup Street and Jerringham Street in our great city of Geelong. And joining me is Anne Kotzel, who is a chaplain up at the Geelong Law Courts. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Nice and bright out here early this morning, Anne, after a rather heavy week of heat.
Yes, it's certainly a lot cooler today, thank goodness.
Now, Anne, born and bred in Geelong?
Yes, I was one of the first babies born in Baxter House.
Well, and Baxter House was only built in 1962, so it's. But how did you get involved with the Salvation Army?
I've been associated with them for over 20 years. Started as a volunteer and worked with the family stores, the recycling shops for 15 years. I was an area manager, and I've been doing this job for the last 3 years.
Now, when we say this job, Anne, you are chaplain at the law courts. You might like to explain to our viewers, what is the role of a chaplain at the Geelong law courts?
Mostly it's family welfare for the people who go through the court system, acting as advice, support afterwards. I occasionally visit the prison on request of the families. I do some family visits, but mostly it's welfare in around the courts. I also conduct positive lifestyle programs.
And how stressful, I mean, people will be watching saying, gee whiz, that would be a continuous, ongoing, day-by-day, stressful type job, dealing with people who have to, unfortunately, go through our court system. But obviously a lady of character and faith, you're able to carry the burden well?
We have training in how to deal with that sort of thing. We have situations where the chaplains in the Cardinia network get to talk to each other about things. I have a whole network of people and colleagues that I can talk about, and sort of offload a bit, and that helps a lot.
One of the most interesting elements that comes to mind is what sort of response do you get from the people who obviously, it's very distressing having to go in a lot of cases to front a magistrate's court over whatever charges they may be. How do you find the response to the people that you face to face with?
That's probably not something you can answer simply. Each individual reacts to situations differently, and because we're unique beings, and you just deal with the situation as it comes. Some people need more help than others, and some people don't need help on the day, and then it all sort of hits them a bit later. So, yeah, I just take it, a case at a time and deal with it that way.
And unfortunately, it's becoming a busier activity, isn't it?
Yes, I have to say that's the case, but and hopefully with this financial crisis it won't get worse, but we'll have to see what happens.
And up at our lovely Geelong Law Courts, as it was mentioned, we're pretty unique in Geelong in the way in which most of our legal fraternity, if not all, have got a working knowledge and in one way a friendship with each other.
Yes, there's a wonderful rapport with everyone, and I enjoy working with them all, and I find that quite exhilarating, how people work so hard, for the individual that's in the court. A lot of stuff goes on after the case, and everyone pulls together to try and help people, so it's great.
And one of the things I do know from my own tour of the Geelong Law Courts, you have special rooms set aside for what I call counselling or comforting sessions after circumstances have been dealt with within the actual courtrooms.
Yes, we do. I am part of what's called the welfare network in the court, and my office is next door to the lovely ladies at Network, who are very helpful, and between us all we manage to look after the people that come to the court. We have a spare room there where we can put people if they're a little bit distressed, and the network ladies run by Pauline Stewart, they make cups of tea and look after people. They do a wonderful job.
Now this morning we've officially launched the Geelong Law Year, and it's the beginning of what will be an ongoing activity up at the Geelong Law Courts. You presented a very special grace and a very special reading.
Yes, I love that passage from Matthew. It's one of my favourites. And when I was looking for a grace, I remembered something about Robert Louis Stevenson, and when I got onto the computer, he had been a lawyer, and he'd written some prayers and graces, and I found I had a copy, which was great.
Our prayers and graces certainly go with all those involved at the Geelong Law Courts. They do a wonderful job, and in particular the people involved in the welfare, the well-being of those that are affected by the law. And Ann Kotzel, the chaplain, one of the chaplains, the chaplain at the Geelong Law Courts. Thank you for your time this morning. God bless and have a great year.
And the same to you. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Rollo. And Rollo will be back with more from the Law Courts just after this short break.